Today we're doing a Cast in the Shadows RNA for Night City Wire Episode 2. We'll start in a few minutes here. Sorry about that. So yeah, we got 22 minutes until it starts. So just a quick, recap of what Night City Wire is. It's pretty much, CD Projekt Red, blanking on the name there, sorry. CD Projekt Red's update series that they made, for Cyberpunk 2077, and we had the first episode in, was it like June? I think the first one wasn't. And then, yeah, it was. And then we had the second one now. And essentially they're doing this until release. I assume the last one. Because they've had 3 planned. So, the first one they showed off the brain dance gameplay. And a few other cool features like in the new trailer. So, hopefully we'll see more content here. And that's where we found out all the details about the 3 different prologue gameplay segments, the life paths, Nomad, Street Kid, Corporal Rat, and that they'll affect your gameplay, how you, which one you pick. I realize I may not have volume on. I did. So it's on their Twitch, so anyone can tune in on their own screen or what have you. It'll probably be better in terms of video quality. I made this, or I finished it yesterday. I've been making it all week. Available on my Flipkart anyway. Minutes. So, excuse me. The game comes out November 17th. When's the 3rd episode, considering how it's been over 2 months since the last episode? I don't know, I honestly can't Cyberpunk stuff. So far, everything I've seen looks great. I'm at the point now where I can visualize myself playing the game. I'm sure you guys also get this, where it's like you've seen enough gameplay and enough information from the game that you can now visualize yourself actually playing it. Yeah, I have that. Really hard to like. Can't play it though. I need to play it now. Yeah, it happens. We're probably gonna get a new song from their soundtrack released after this too. So last week or last episode, they released the song "The Ballad of Buck Rogers," which is a song sung by Johnny Silverhand in universe. I don't know for the game. It's a good song. All the soundtrack's really good. So they have I think 4 songs right now on the YouTube channel that you can listen to. That are part of the official soundtrack. I actually have a playlist of all those in a playlist on my channel's homepage. So check it out there too. So, recent news and Cyberpunk stuff outside of Night City Wire is there's rumors about a beta. Essentially, there's a scam going on that's tricking people into thinking there's a beta when there isn't a beta. And I don't know, I just really read about the part where they're scamming people with beta. I don't know the actual details. I can double check that right now. I have to find the article. I know I have it open. I have to search for it. Okay, here it is. Found the article. I knew I'd find it. So from PC Gamer, watch out for Cyberpunk 2077 beta scams. CD Projekt Red has warned prospective players that invites are fake and no plans for a beta. Now, I knew there was not going to be a beta, which is why I was surprised and then not surprised when I heard scam. Cyberpunk 2077 is still a few months away, so scammers are trying to take advantage of eager prospective players, offering them a chance to play early in a non-existent beta. CD Projekt Red posted a warning via the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account that it wasn't sending out beta invites and reiterated that it has no plans for a beta. Half of half okay half if you have half if you recently received an email claiming to be granting you beta access to Cyberpunk 2077. It's not from. Oh, okay. I assume like message one of two or something. Yeah, if you recently received an email claiming to be granting you beta access to Cyberpunk 2077, it's not from us. Unfortunately, there have been more of these being sent out over the past few weeks. When we contact you via email, it always comes from @cdproductred.com address. This was posted July 30th. In case one of these gets through your junk filter, first check that it's from @cdproductred.com and not an unofficial address. And you can safely assume that any mentioning of a beta are bullshit. CD Projekt Red added that content creators should also be vigilant, and the studio will always reach out directly, not via a third party. So it looks like you'll just have to wait until November 19th. What did I say? 17th earlier? Sorry. Yeah, November 19th. In the meantime, check out our Cyberpunk 2077 hands-on preview and. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was. Random people taking advantage of the hype. To figure out a way how to not record my. I don't know if it bugs you guys, but it bugs me. That micro circuit. Minutes of showtime. Perhaps I shouldn't be recording these this beforehand. Alright, well, what have all you been up to? Yeah, let me know. Oh, and for anyone who actually is curious, because I did say I'd do a live stream today, but I did not expect it to be a Cyberpunk live stream. I was planning to do a Transformers live stream because of the Netflix series. Felt they do coverage on that, but I completely forgot about the Cyberpunk thing. So, doing a live stream for this first, if I have time today. Otherwise, it'll be tomorrow. It's only Monday though, so I have days in the week. I want to get the Transformers live stream. Pretty much, I'm just recording myself and a friend live reaction / review of the. It's only you watch it straight. It's just 6 episodes, 24 minutes each, so it's like a 2.5 hours. Give or take. Pretty much like watching a feature-length film. These are going to be the longest. it's, I did not expect the. I don't know, the Night City Wire news kind of snuck up on me. I knew about it Saturday night. But before Saturday night, like, holy crap, there's going to be another one? Because I knew there was going to be 3, but I didn't know what their spacing was. I figured it would just be every month. Or every other month or something. They didn't have a schedule on their website. They just showed that there were going to be 3 episodes. And if anyone's in the chat watching, if you get bored of the countdown screen, let me know if something more training up. That. 10 minutes left. Oh, I can do a brief thing on Halo Infinite while we're here. So Halo Infinite, a lot of people have been griping about the graphics and the fidelity of the game and how it looks. And some of them are pretty legit complaints, I think. Like some people saying like the game has no textures because from what I've seen it really doesn't have many textures. There are textures, for example, the assault rifle, right? The MA40, the reach-styled sniper rifle that Chief is holding. It has one layer of textures that make some of the scratches and stuff appear when it's in a well-lit environment. But it's missing a bunch of textures, or at least doesn't have any. And it doesn't help that the entire rifle is all one color. I mean, it looks like he was holding the gray box model of the gun. As for the and also we learned the build that we saw in the demo, the 8-minute gameplay demo, is actually a few weeks old, not a few months old. Like at the time it came out, it was barely 2 months old. So I'm still optimistic about the game, but I'm very, very skeptical as well because something tells me that they probably spent all the time, the whole 5 years developing that new engine, and then only started working on the game. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm worried that's the case and that the game's going to be very lackluster. We already know it's going to be a live service type game, 10 years of Halo, blah blah blah, it's the next Halo for 10 years, and content will be coming out. And supposedly they're not going to have a bunch of game modes release. I mean, they're not going to have a bunch of game modes not release, on release, like what happened with Halo 5, where it's like, where's Forge, where's Theater? Where's Firefight? Why are none of these game modes in on release? And they had to bring them in over time. Supposedly not the case with Halo Infinite, but time will tell. Pretty much, it's kind of just like a wait and see game with Halo, right? 3 minutes of showtime. When it gets to the final minute, I'll put it back up on the screen. But yeah, it's Halo Infinite. The story looks alright. I mean, we still don't really know much about the story. You know, who's this Harbinger character? We know the Banished are the villain now, but you know, what happened on the ring with all the there's a lot of questions that I'm sure the game will answer. I don't know whether to feel like good or bad about the story right now. Just kind of feels like a wait and see type thing. No, there's no like, oh, is this, is that, you know, speculation. And speaking of the Cyberpunk beta scams, on a similar topic, games and online harassment from GamesIndustry.biz, main article 5 days ago, saying games and online harassment hotline launches to encourage help-seeking behaviors. New service offers free and confidential emotional support for anyone suffering or perpetrating abuse in games. So is Ubisoft ever going to be held accountable for all the abuse they've done? What about EA for all the harm they've inflicted on others with their gambling? Knowingly sold products that would, you know, lead to people to have addictions. Industry that the only addiction you should have is, I want to play this game, just 5 more minutes, let me play this game. Not, I need to spend money, I need to spend money, I need to spend money. I don't know. Then we have games like Cyberpunk, which are all good. So, no monetization scheme, no gambling, no loot boxes, stupid shit like that. Oh, we're in the final minute. This 30 seconds. I may start counting down with it when it starts at 10. Just warning you. I'm just gonna make sure that my volume is good. Figured I can lower it during the stream if need be. Three, 2, 1, starting! And why am I not here? Oh, my speaker's not working. Hold on. Fix that.
Hello and welcome to episode.
There we go. And is it buffering for anyone else?
City Wire.
This might just be on Twitch or Chrome's end.
From us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to be deep diving into Life Pass and showing you a brand new gameplay video,
yes,
as well as having a chat to Philip from our Quest team. Then we're going behind the scenes and taking a look at how Refused are bringing the band Samurai to life. And then we're showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that'll be at your disposal in Night City. So let's get started. Street Kid, Nomad, or Corpo? Which will you pick first?
I don't know, that question's been bugging me for like the last 2 months. I'm gonna have to have you guys in the chat help me decide on that one when I play the game live.
Well, who do we have here?
Grew up in Haywood. The whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I'm pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Childhood memories. Hopping buildings. Running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip.
Motherfucker!
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get the fuck out of Vista!
If it keeps getting jumped, you find some stronger choopers.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry bobbed? Yeah, come on!
Childhood. Let's see. Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family. A choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
Miss this, you know? Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met.
Know what I always liked about nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
I want that gun. Alright, so that's pretty cool. They feel very different from each other. And then
They were
as
supposed to be ready yesterday.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
The world's never going to find out.
If I go down, you're going down with me! No! I'm not fucking joking!
This isn't a request, V.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you're working Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
Today, they got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get somebody else to zero you.
What's the rules, Jack? Want to be top? Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there.
Oh my god, Arasaka from 2020? Dude's gotta be over 100 years old. Can we offer
It
the
is
game?
so good to see you again. It's actually been a while since I've had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk. So I think for today we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game has 3 different starts depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the Street Kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. You know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game. But if you start as a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family, because nomads that roam the deserts around Night City, that we call the Badlands, actually value their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind, and now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there. Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path. And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside a boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation, which basically gives you the ability to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later on.
So this isn't just about the start of the game. Can you maybe help people understand how this translates into the gameplay?
Yeah, so the thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game, but we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options in dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstromers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we want to give you some options. So as an example, in the corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines, and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang. And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstromers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout.
It's crazy how many ways you can play that single mission.
As a street kid, we as an example don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a street kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher up people like Meredith Stout. But we want to give you additional options that fit your life path very well. So later when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a street kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
So Philip, I do have a couple of extra questions for you based on the video we just saw. And the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands. Is this somewhere you get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands, and you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon. And we want to give you the option later in the game, if you want. You can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. The thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first, because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past, there's global warming, so most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle-hardened. We of course also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands, or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved, they go to a fixer. And a fixer then finds people who can solve that problem. And these people are people like you, V, cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a street kid grew up in, so you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers, who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city. So specifically Padre, you might know him as a street kid, but even if you played other life paths, you might sooner or later meet him, because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us. Now, on my first playthrough, pretty sure I'm going to be picking Nomad, but for those watching, we would love to know what you'll be picking, so have a think about it and send us a tweet. Don't forget that later in this episode, we're going to be showing you another new gameplay video and having a chat to Pavel, our senior gameplay designer, about just some of the tools of destruction that will be at your disposal in Night City. But before that, let's talk about music, because music plays a huge part in bringing Night City to life. Now, in future episodes, we're going to talk about things like radio stations and even the original score. But today, we're going to take a look behind the scenes at how refused to bringing Johnny Silverhand's band, Samurai, to life.
I wouldn't write these lyrics for myself. So it's kind of interesting to get into like the mindset of who is this character and what would they write about, or what's their agenda. It's interesting to try to like catch a language that's his, and try to catch a language that's like a part of this game. There is a reason why we're here.
It was Piotr maybe who was a fan of the band.
He knew Refused and he knew my voice, and he said, oh, that's a perfect voice for Johnny.
And that they wanted, I guess, a sound that was a bit contemporary from when Johnny's supposed to have had the band, because he's sort of like an anti-establishment kind of guy.
Gonna drag a corporal rat on stage, make him kneel, douse him with gas, then light him up.
So of course there are things that you can relate to, and like just like this outcast and this rebel that's fighting against like the corporal.
Oh my god, he plays Johnny versus just like a
part of my life.
evil for it.
We came out of the hunger.
Johnny, that'd be awesome.
He's like the future version of us, you know? So I think it makes sense. I think it totally makes sense for us to be here making these songs about him or for him. You know? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No trills. But yeah, but like wide vibrato.
And then I mean just sort of build. I mean,
yeah,
slowly build sort of intensity.
We don't have a different mode than just going all in. So we really work on these songs, trying to make them as good as possible. But then they're not actually our songs.
It's interesting as a musician to play another musician, because that's essentially what we're doing. I mean, we're not here as Refused, we're here as Samurai. And I'm here as Johnny Silverhand, you know? So it's like the voice we're representing here is someone else.
We'll never fade away!
It's been a mind fuck.
Oh, Never Fade Away is actually, the lyrics in the song are a reference to Cyberpunk 2020, which is really cool. Also a good song. No, what happened?
I mean, the shouting in itself is just like second nature to me, because I've been doing this for a very long time. But then when someone comes in and says,
I'm happy with everything except for Azalin. Again, it's Azza. Azza. Okay.
The shouting's great, but think of that accent, or think of that like enunciation. It's a bit weird because it's a very different way of singing when you're screaming like that, and it's hard to sort of
Swallowing some syllables there.
adjust your accent.
Oh yeah, just try it again.
So it's been a bit kind of frustrating.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, we have to maintain the illusion that this character that's a character of the game also is me, like when I'm singing it. So it makes sense. But yeah, it's a bit different to have someone telling you exactly how to enunciate things, because I'm not used to, usually people are just like give me a thumbs up, and then like, you know, you think the things like the rhythm, and you think about the pitch, and you think about all these things, but then someone comes in and like, that word sounded weird. I'm like, what? No, that's how I sing. But so it's been a very
Essentially, you have to do an American's voice, so
it's all right.
Yeah, that's the accent and your singing.
Roll the bones, I'm chipping in. Belt that cone, I'm chipping in. Mayhem flows.
It's a very interesting thing to be part of. As a person that's not a gamer, I don't think I fully understand the impact that this might have. If people like these songs and if people are excited.
No, what's happening? This was really interesting segment.
I mean, we are spending a lot of times trying to get this right, trying to get it to sound like, you know, like samurai would sound, you know. So it's quite interesting. It's a very different way of making music, actually.
As I mentioned earlier, I have a playlist with all the songs.
You can already find 3 Samurai tracks available on streaming services: Chippin' In, Never Fade Away, and The Ballad of Buck Ravers. But we're excited to announce a 4th new song called A Like Supreme, which is coming to streaming services today. That means you can check it out once the show is over. Don't forget that if you're tuning in late, or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channel soon. Next up, Pavel and I are going to introduce you to some creative ways that you can solve problems in Night City.
The game's rearrangement devices. Matter rearrangement.
AV, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection. It could get hot, very hot. The gun dealers are Maelstrom. Alas, nothing ever transpires as planned with them. You better gear up for this.
That's a good shotgun. Yes! Thermal Katana!
So
very cool.
Are you willing?
Yeah, I'm in.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because it's more than just guns.
Absolutely. We have melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I think just for today's episode, we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell us the different types of guns that will be in the game?
So we have 3 distinct types of guns in our game. We have power weapons, we have tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons. One thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can hit somebody hiding behind cover or hiding behind a wall. Now, tech weapons, on the other hand, use electromagnetic power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that allows them to do is to punch through cover or punch through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those two elements together. Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world of Night City. V becomes more and more proficient in using weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become shorter, the accuracy of your weapons grows, you will have faster aiming time, you will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed for you.
So I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the first is going to be, how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can, of course, buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City. The weapons rarities range from common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game. The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's talk about weapon modifications. What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
So we have two types of modifications in the game. One of them would be modifications that we call attachments. So these would be scopes and silencers, and you can see them actually being attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage, and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun. They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they can give you more fire rate. Some of those mods actually change the gunplay on a more fundamental level, so they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds, to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my final question, why don't you tell us about your favourite weapon then? Which is your favourite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose just one, but I can mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls, so you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who doesn't even know you're there. Of course, I also like a close quarters approach, and what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now that thing is cast from pure steel and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say, is a smart shotgun, Kang Tao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means it can track 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room was never simpler.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me.
Wow. Thank you for having me.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of weapons people discover when they play Cyberpunk for themselves. Before we end episode 2, this is a reminder that those who wish to dive deeper into the lore can now pick up The World of Cyberpunk 2077. This is a brand new book created in collaboration with Dark Horse Books that will give you an extensive look at what makes Night City tick before jumping into the game this November. That is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back with Night City Wire Episode 3 soon.
That was awesome. You guys can't see it right now, but I have a really big smile on my face. So, I'm actually kind of curious about the smart guns because, I don't know, I just prefer using more contemporary weapons, so just for the challenge. But it looks so cool. I love the options. Options are a gamer's best friend. So it's great that we have that. I can just go here and look through some of the footage. Excuse me. Oh, interesting. So this was a different lot. This was a different video? No. So, man, it was funny how I was talking about the music before the show started, and then we got an in-depth look into music. So that's awesome. That was 101% for me. Like that part. Like I love music, so I felt like this video was practically made for me answering my questions about the Samurai Band and Johnny Silverhand in the game. And that's great. But when we got a good look at the Nomad and pretty much how the Nomad will feel versus how the Street Kid would feel versus how the Corpo Rat will feel. And I think we heard somewhere that Jackie, the companion you see in a lot of the trailers, he is not your friend when you're a street kid. You know, when you first meet him, you're both doing the same job, but for different people, so you're opponents. But I think he may become your friend later, I don't know. But Nomad and Corpo Rat, he's already your friend at the start of the game. If you guys like Jackie, there's something to consider. Also, is that a bin full of arms? Right there? Yes, it is. Interesting. Makes me think, can we steal cyberware and then just have our Ripper Doc install it for us, whereas normally you'd have to buy it from the Ripper Doc to get installed. Gauge? 4? And I thought Halo's 8-gauge shotgun was powerful. Jesus. Well, I guess when everyone has cybernetic arms, it doesn't really make a difference. 8-gauge shotgun. No wonder it's all made of solid steel. Of steel. It's slaughtering time. It's slaughtering time. This is gonna be such a fun game. We gotta look at the guns. We gotta look at the life path. We gotta look at the music. It was awesome. I'm kind of speechless right now. I mean, now here's a question. Are we going to actually play as Johnny Silverhands through some kind of... Because from what I know of the story, which I'm not going to go in depth of what I know because it involves spoilers, but from what I know, it does... He's not physically in the game. That's been revealed. That's not spoilers, but... And what I mean by that is, he's not a physical entity in the world. So, what I'm curious about is how are we playing? Like, are we gonna play him through a flashback or something? Because I mean, that's Johnny Silverhand right there. See him in first-person view. Man, yeah, I feel like I can totally get why this guy had trouble, because he has to do an American accent and then he has to sing in that manner where you're essentially borderlining incoherent. So, but he pulled it off fantastically. Seriously, if you guys haven't listened to the songs yet, I highly recommend. They're really. So Nomad's kind of like a Mad Max style life. Street Kid, which is just as I figured, punk. And we got Corpo Rat. Essentially part of the... You're higher up on the food chain. Scopes look good, which is a good thing, because you want to be able to use them properly. These, I can't wait. I'll be doing it here, live on the channel. All to enjoy. Oh, they're gonna have alternate firing modes for weapons? That'd be cool. Starship doesn't have that. And that one just got some. So yeah, it seems each gun has at least 2 firing modes. Burst fire and then whatever, like a specialty kind of move is. Or guided missiles in the case of this gun, machine gun. And pretty cool. Seriously, I can't wait to play it. I really don't know what else to say. I mean, unlike Halo I was talking about earlier, this looks like it's going to be a finished, finalized, optimized, polished product on launch. November 19th. That long. I need to make money to buy the... But that's a different problem. Actually, no, it's not, because I have a PayPal for this channel, so I can solve one problem by, I guess, 2 problems. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so this is was Night City Wire episode 2. I'll probably be doing an in-depth analysis video after this, where it's not like, where it's just like a minute video or something. It'll be just with a buddy, kind of like going over it and what we liked, what we didn't like, and what we excited for, stuff like that. So, like a breakdown or whatever video. So, anyway, look out for that. Also, look out for keep an eye on the Twitch channel, because we're going to be doing that Transformers live reaction sometime this week, either today or tomorrow, or possibly Wednesday. It might be Wednesday. Just warning you. But it'll be within the next 3 days. I'm not allowing another week going by and not watching it. Mainly because I want to watch it. Yeah, so that was the Cyberpunk Night City Wire episode 2. Yeah, I gotta go actually add the new song to my playlist now. Yeah. That's it. You know what? I think right now I'm going to be doing gameplay videos over on my personal channel, Mando Merc, for anyone curious about that. I finally downloaded the latest build of SPV3 for Halo Custom Edition, and I'm gonna go through the playthrough of that, and I can finally do my comparison video of the old and new. But yeah, this is... Yeah, I'm seeing this comment here about Titanfall style. Yeah, the smart guns remind me a lot of Titanfall 2, which I recently just played again. Like the smart pistol. essentially just auto locks onto everything, and then bullets just fly into their direction. All you have to do is pull the trigger and empty a room. And we got railguns. And that 4-gauge shotgun, holy shit. I mean, an 8-gauge shotgun is good enough to dislocate a regular human's shoulder, at least. Which is why, like, you know, a lot of people, myself included, kind of like, well, I mean, I guess Marines are really, really strong in the Halo universe because. But then you have a 4-gauge in Cyberpunk. Wow, that's a big shell. A big shell, big kick. Well, I guess the weight difference of the steel frame of the gun would probably help mitigate the blowback. But I don't know. I'm going into the science of a fictional weapon, which I know I like doing that. So anyway, yeah, it looks awesome. I really can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play it with you guys here on the channel. It's going to be awesome. You guys can help me pick which freaking life path I'm going to do because I still can't decide. And it's going to be really cool. I mean, I guess we had so much cool footage already. Can't wait to get my hands on these tools of matter dispersion. I'm just gonna call it a different name. I mean, tools of destruction is cool, but I need the matter rearranger. That sounds so odd. Anyway, yeah, I'm just having fun thinking about the game right now. Sorry, it just looks so much fun. I think got like this M60 style weapon here. Oh, this is good. Alright. I think I'm going to end it here because I'm just going to keep rambling on about how cool the guns look if I keep going. So, thanks everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you guys are here because you guys make my channel what it is. And as I said, I'll probably be doing another live stream. Well, I'll be doing a live stream today regardless. I think I'll be doing the Halo SPV3 thing. Because the reason why I wanted to do two different versions, I did SPV 3.1 without commentary. So that you got a basic idea of what the game was. And then I'm going to do the new version, the latest build, SPV 3.2. And I'm going to do that with commentary and everything because I have not played it yet. So you'll get my reactions of playing it for the first time. Whereas SPV 3.1 I've played since it came out, and so I figured, you know, I don't really have anything new to say about it. It's really fun. I dig it. Yeah, so I'll probably do that later today. In fact, probably do this right after this live stream. We'll see about that, but might be right after. And yeah, then I got the Transformers live stream later this week, sometime this week. Still waiting to hear back from Buddy to find out when. And then I got a Cyberpunk analysis video to do. So, once again, everyone, thanks so much for coming and watching. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. And, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Tell me why in the comments. Subscribe if you have. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have, please make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube doesn't want me to get past 180 apparently on my personal channel, which is weird. So every time I get to 180, 2 people get unsubscribed. So I don't know what it is, but it's weird. So just make sure you're subscribed if you have. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Also, we have a PayPal, so if you want to help us in a more personal way, go to PayPal. I'm trying to remember the link now. Gosh, I don't remember it. No, I can figure it out. And there goes the flow of my outro. Okay, here it is. So yeah, go to just paypal.com/paypalme/Cast in the Shadows and donate a cent. I don't care. Everything helps. So, and it circumvents YouTube because this way they don't take 30%. I get all the money. Or well, we get all the money. But yeah, so that's about it. Everyone, I hope you're having a great day so far. I hope this was a informative, or at the very least entertaining live stream. And I'll catch you guys later. Meantime, take care, stay safe, and remember, treat others that you want.